Why don't we shift gears though to Disney Plus, where Falcon and the Winter Soldier wrapped up. And Dave, do you think this is going to be an Emmy darling for Disney Plus?
I certainly hope not.
Oh, I think after WandaVision, I don't think this is going to be the Marvel show that wins them awards.
Right. Loki, of course, will be coming out after the Emmy cutoff. But
Can't wait for Loki.
yeah, genuinely excited for that. It's a very nice trailer. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier, sixth episode season. And we had concerns after the first episode. And those concerns were realized, unfortunately. And I was pretty disappointed with the season overall. There's definitely things I like. But it had a lot of the things I had feared, unfortunately. Not that it wasn't entertaining. Even like moment to moment, for the most part, I was having a good time with it. But just like, there's just so much that just kind of falls apart when you really examine this season of TV, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. It was fun to see Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan get to like basically being like a buddy cop for a couple episodes.
Right.
And I think some of the action stuff was good. You know, with Marvel, most of the time it's pretty good at this point. Um, I don't know how I felt about the. I mean, the power broker thing. I think we'll talk about. Just like kind of bizarre. I don't know if I'm totally
Mm.
understanding that, and also the villains of the season.
The Flag Smashers.
I think I struggled with a
Carly.
little bit. Yeah, Carly.
Oh,
I mean,
I incredibly struggle with them. That's a big point.
and the thing is, I don't know if it's performance based. It's more so just. I thought Aaron Kellyman was fine. I think it's just like conceptualized, not to the fullest. And yeah, I think it really falls apart with the final episode, unfortunately, where it really just kind of devolves into what the worst Marvel movies always devolve into, which is just like punching your way out of things, and you get a really um, goody speech from Sam to
Mhm.
congressmen in front of a large crowd, and I was like, "This is really on the nose," and then it
Mhm.
wrapped up. So,
Yeah.
uh, tell me what you didn't like. Where are your problems with the season?
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff, right? I think so. We talked about after the first episode that didn't exactly have a lot of confidence that Marvel would tackle the race angle in a meaningful way, namely a black man, Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie's character, taking on the mantle of Captain America after Steve gave him the shield. People understand, symbolism of that and why that would be a difficult thing. However, the show is like 20% about Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just not a lot of time for this. I think the Isaiah Bradley stuff had a lot of potential, but even that, like at the end when he goes to the museum and Sam's like, "See, I put the statue in here so people won't forget your sacrifice there, old timer." And he's like really jazzed about it. But like a few episodes ago, that guy had like borderline PTSD and was like really like paranoid and distrustful.
Yeah.
So that just felt like it was kind of hand waved to me. And in general, I just felt like they didn't do the work to like really establish this beyond like Sam having a few lines here and there. Because again, it's barely about Sam.
Mhm.
And like you said, that speech at the end, that should be the whole like ethos, but it just felt very heavy handed because you're forcing it all in at the end like that. It's like you didn't
Yeah.
actually do the work. And it's really unfortunate because I think Sam being Cap is cool. It's a good
Yeah.
result. He's certainly a better choice than Bucky.
Oh,
And
sure.
obviously, the whole angle of a black man being Captain America is very interesting to explore and should be
Mhm.
explored, especially nowadays, right? But like, it just doesn't feel like they had a whole lot to actually go about it. Because again, there's so many other distracting things,
Yeah.
like the villains we can get to. But yeah, I was just kind of disappointed in how they handled it.
Yeah, I agree. And just to I think correct myself a little bit when I describe the speech as goody goody, it's more so that it's a very Captain America type speech. And I think, like you said, the content of it was good, but I think the way it was delivered was just like very on the nose. Not necessarily done with the most tact, maybe. And yeah, I also do feel like certain aspects of the conflict of a black man being Captain America, whether it was that internalized conflict for Sam, or like I think the broader uh, issues that may cause, um, within a country like America and whatever world this this is, or version of the world that this is, was kind of yada yada at points, and then really like thrust into the forefront. And
Yeah.
you're right, it should have been something that was just a running through line throughout the show, but the reluctance to take over the shield and the trauma of losing Steve Rogers, I think, took up too much time. uh, the show was probably at its best, I'd say, when Daniel Bruhl just got to be Zemo and be weird and slimy and dance in the club or have a
Yeah.
showdown at like a random bar. But like that should not be what we're taking away from Falcon and the Winter Soldier in terms of the best parts, I don't think.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, just real quick, Brule, not that he gets to do a whole lot as Zemo, but he's like vamping and chewing scenery in a really fun way.
Yeah.
He like honestly anchored those middle chapters more than anyone else. So that was nice. How he goes out at the end, the Dora Milaje from Wakanda decide to drop him off at the raft, give him away to a different prison they don't control. Like, what the fuck? That does
Makes
not
no
make any
sense.
sense. Why would they do that? They wanted their revenge because
Yeah.
he killed T'Challa's dad.
Yep.
Whatever. Strange. I like that fight with the Dora Milaje in the house with a Walker. That was cool. But similar to how like they yada yada and rush through the progression of Sam's character, they do that tenfold with Bucky. Remember in the beginning where Bucky's going to counseling, mandated counseling, and he has these nightmares and stuff, and he wants to connect with Yori. He's I believe he's a neighbor or something. He killed Yori's son or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is literally non-existent in episodes 2 through 5.
Well, and it comes back in 6 at the very, very end.
And it's barely a conversation. Like that could have been a 10-minute scene. They just kind of, okay, yeah, they talked about it's Bucky's on a better path now. I was like, what? Yeah. That's it? I just wish you wouldn't even do it, rather than do it bad.
And
it was a mistake.
And I think if they had made Sam's journey into accepting the role of Captain America and what that means for him, you would have gotten that moment where he talks about, in order to heal, you have to go through the shit. And that would have made more room for this. But because they decided to sideline certain plots and, put other things at the forefront of the show. And I think we should probably talk about Walker in a second. It really, I think, did a disservice to both characters and had this rushed progression of character that, like, if you wanted to highlight these other things, make it an 8-episode series. Give yourself 2 more episodes to explore these. But speeding it up like this, I don't know if it made any sense. What did you think about Walker? You mentioned him. Obviously, he breaks bad somewhere in the middle. Now he's the agent,
U.S. agent.
What did you think about Wyatt Russell in this role?
I like Wyatt Russell. I thought he did a pretty good job, but and I think it was going down an interesting path. Seeing unhinged Captain America damn near decapitate someone with the shield, the bloody dripping shield. Great visual, great metaphor for American hypocrisy when it comes to foreign policy. Yeah, obviously it's on the nose. It's Marvel, but like I at least appreciate them going that way, But then you watch the finale and he's like kind of good. There seems to be no
I'm pretty sure he's evil.
There's like no hard feelings though between Bucky and him when they're like saving the day. It's like, he's just there he is,
he'll never be Sam.
Yeah,
that was like the whole point.
The scene when he goes to his boy's parents and like that. I wish that didn't even happen. That was tough too. Yeah. He also kind of fizzled out in a weird way. I was kind of unsurprised, and it kind of felt like they're just Marvel's keeping him on the board for future use. So we're not going to, spill the beans too much here. You got the tease with Julia Louis-Dreyfus showing up as an unexpected cameo as a Val Fontaine, who could be teasing the Thunderbolts, could be teasing Madam Hydra. There's a lot of like potential through lines here. Now John Walker is officially the U.S. agent character. He is in the comics. So how this comes back into play, I'm not sure. We do know that Malcolm Spellman is attached to Captain America 4, which is in the works. No directors attached, but the showrunner is involved. So
Captain
maybe,
America and the Winter Soldier is the name. They really were coming up with some creative ones on that one.
yeah. So a lot of TBD here, but yeah, the Flag Smashers, right? They're kind of our central villain. Like Walker's almost to the side. He's more of like an anti-hero at points. And the Flag Smashers on their face, I thought were interesting. They could have been interesting. Yeah. The problem is Marvel world building sucks. For the most part, it really sucks. Like you don't understand the situation of the world. They're just telling you everything. They're like, oh, when the blip happened, everyone was happy, your borders changed, allegiances, everyone's finances, blah, blah, blah. And then, everything comes back, New World Order. I understand why maybe there's a group that feels like it was better before. That's interesting to me. But the show, Falcon Winter Soldier, did no work to explain why Carly's actually like motivating to people, nor did it ever make her a sympathetic villain because she very quickly just became a killer and very extreme. And you're like, your plan is to actually improve the world and save people's lives and make everything better, but you're just gonna kill people and like become like a terrorist and stuff. Like it, and also Sam's fascination with defending her. Like I just felt like they skipped a lot of steps with this, and they really didn't make any sense at the end. Like it felt like a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think you said it really well. Again, I thought Erin Kellyman as Carly was still pretty good, but what she was given to work with was just confusing. And there's a lot there to explore. I am very interested in like understanding the world during the blip, in a sense, like knowing more about it. But they just won't go there. They just like mention these things, but they won't actually show it.
Marvel's like only character. They only can do character. It feels like,
Yeah, it's. I don't know why that's so tough for them either. But yeah, no, I think there was definitely a lot there. It's also just kind of weird that Sharon Carter just all of a sudden is like one of the biggest like bads in Marvel. Like what? But she was blipped, but she all of a sudden has this power. Like what?
Oh,
like,
was she blipped? I didn't even catch that.
I thought they mentioned that she was. Maybe I don't
know.
Maybe I missed that.
I was happy to see her. Right? Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Bring back Zemo. Bring back Sharon. Why not? I don't care. Again, I already wasn't super jazzed to do more Bucky and Sam shit. So by all means, bring the band back together. I don't care.
Yeah.
But and obviously it made sense by the end. She had to be the power broker. Like who else could it have been? It could have been what? JLD. It could have been someone we haven't seen. Like I didn't feel like there were any other good options at this point.
Right.
But it is kind of strange that she's just kind of like, fuck the US government. I used to be in the fucking surveillance state and now I'm the exact opposite. It's like, I mean, okay, fine. But like, and if they want to take it down to a more interesting path down the road, totally open to it, of course. But that actually kind of leads me to like the speculation about this season, which is totally unsourced, but it's just kind of heavily rumored right now that there was a central like virus plot line involving the power broker, involving the Flag Smashers, involving Madripoor, and that was just cut due to obvious reasons. And there's like kind of evidence you can like look at YouTubers, they can kind of like point this out to you, like evidence of where it was cut around and kind of referenced and stuff. Like Carly acknowledges vaccines at one point. Like don't know how real it is, but it did feel like the Madripoor stuff, a lot of the middle stuff with Sharon, it did feel like kind of like uneven, like almost out of place. And I guess you have to wonder, like, what would this season of TV had looked like, totally unencumbered from both COVID production delays, but also COVID changing your narrative.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's certainly interesting. I don't know if I would have saved it, but it might have been a little more interesting. I don't know. You mentioned JLD, and I just kind of want to start wrapping this up because I think we're giving this a little too much time, in my opinion. JLD shows up playing Valentina Allegra De Fontaine.
Yeah.
Basically like an evil Nick Fury type character, it seems like.
Sure.
Well, what do you think? What's your temperature on her?
I mean, she's just doing JLD things. It's not like it's a twist on her, what we expect from her. But I mean, I'm down. Sure. Again,
Yeah.
they hire the best people.
Yeah. Um, I'm excited to see what she does with it. I just am like, I don't know. To bring her in Winter Soldier, I'm just like, or Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm like, man, I don't know. I would have liked it
Yeah,
more if maybe she showed up in like Loki or something. Maybe I'd be more jazzed about it.
sure. I mean, again, in general, like that's another piece of it being barely about Sam because you had all these other things, and how much of this was what
Right.
Malcolm Spellman and Carrie Scoglin wanted to do, and how much of that was Kevin Feige. We don't know.
Good point. We have, I think, what 5-7 weeks or something like that before Loki.
Right. Yeah. The
So
not after another week, the Disney Plus show will be Star Wars: The Bad Batch, the Clone Wars spinoff. So there'll be no Marvel for a while. But yeah, Loki in early June, June 11th, I think it is.